Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Good afternoon, South Africa, and welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Booley. Thank goodness it's Friday, and boy, do I have a lineup fit for a Friday. Trending on the show today is all things motherhood. And to help me celebrate motherhood here today is B Dolan, South Africa's sexiest woman turned actress, turned author, turned dog lover, turned columnist.
Lots of turning.
Lots of turning,
tossing.
slashing. Yeah. And of course, S-model, soccer mom, not wag, and author, Sonia Booth. So, ladies, if you're a mother and you haven't written a book, ladies for you, right? Is that what we're saying here?
Start I during the crying hours. Start writing. Get busy.
More from the ladies later, but for now, let's join a not pregnant, not barefoot Jeannie in the kitchen and see what she's cooking up.
Thanks, Bonnie. I couldn't possibly be barefoot in this kitchen anyway, because standing next to the gorgeous Claire Winstanley, she's in flat shoes, hence why I have to be in the stilts. But of course, we are celebrating Mother's Day and giving back to the mothers, grandmothers, aunties, and the important women in our lives by making something tasty. Claire Winstanley, what are we making?
So exactly, this Mother's Day we're eating in. We're making something simple, but we're just making something because Mom deserves it.
Absolutely, she does. When we were little girls, we used to make her cards, and now we make the food.
A whole 3-course meal.
Oh, delicious. I really do need to learn how to make this. But first, let's chat to Bonnie and see who our first guest is on the couch.
Thank you, Jeannie. All the ingredients needed for an unforgettable Mother's Day. Now, my first guest is an actress, a television presenter, a musician, and an author. There's very little this talented and beautiful woman hasn't excelled in. Joining us on our couch today is B Dolan. Welcome, lady.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, South Africa was first introduced to you as South Africa's sexiest woman.
No, I think I started out way back when. I know it's a long time ago, and you were probably, still in nappies.
Yeah, since we both started in nappies.
No, I started out on Simonier.
Yes,
doing continuity
Simonier,
on Simonier. I was one of those crazy people doing all the, those silly mimes.
I remember, yeah.
They were lots of fun.
Remember.
And then I did a lot of TV work. I did 2 television series at the same time. It was a good period. And then, then I went to radio, 5FM, and yeah.
You've dipped your feet in many puddles. Which would you say was your major break?
It's so difficult to say because we've had a segregated country. Wow. From being in Simonier, it was such an extraordinary experience because it was over that period that everything changed.
Right.
And so it was a very beautiful thing to be a part of that, to be, a part of that changeover. So it was very, very beautiful. But then you go into mainstream, which was more 5FM and whatnot, and I became, I was already within a certain sect and a certain group. I was doing really well.
Right.
But then obviously moving over to 5FM changed that into a more mainstream kind of, know your face magazines, etc.,
Right. And it was round about that time that you were named South Africa's sexiest woman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is interesting for me because I want to know how that impacted your self-image and just how you saw yourself as a woman suddenly.
I have to say this. You take your clothes off once, it follows you for 15 years. They trail behind you.
That's why we're moms.
Exactly. I brought it all up in my book. That's why, part of why I wrote An Appetite for Peas, because of the... I bought into a very misogynistic society. I bought into it. I played that game very unwittingly and unknowingly, landed very much in a circle of misogynists.
Wow.
Basically, I think this industry, the entertainment industry, was run very much by a very specific mindset. And strong women and the way that you got to speak out were not really embraced or certainly not within the framework of being an attractive woman and being, you were definitely flung into the be on a magazine cover and take your clothes off, that's how you're going to make it.
Wow.
And I bought into that, unfortunately, against my own grain. Sure. Because even at the time I was uncomfortable with it and I mouthed a lot about it and I was told to be quiet and get it done.
And of course you kicked yourself out of that box.
I tried very much, but look at us.
No, but look at you now.
2015.
I've got 2 books on my lap and a third one on the way.
Yes, the third one is on its way. I've been writing in a really big way, and I think it's not that I'm downing the whole system of appreciating female beauty and appreciating your body and doing all that wonderful stuff. What I am saying is that when you don't have a society mature enough to be able to look at you from the inside out, and they are going to only focus on the outside in. We have a society that we're living in where most women, unfortunately, are still up against a challenge when it comes to the workplace, when it comes to being out and about in general society, because when you open your mouth and you're really strong about it, you're going to face some stuff.
Wow.
It's getting better. The landscape is changing, but we most definitely, our statistics, they still kind of speak for themselves.
Of course.
So, that's the basis of when I wrote An Appetite for Peas.
Yes.
I wrote it on a girl's journey from having very little parental guidance into a space that kind of led me all over the show, as you say, many puddles. Most of those puddles were men.
Ooh. Alrighty then.
It happened. And just finding my way and I think I spoke from the results of having written that book. So many women have come out and spoken about all sorts of issues to do with themselves, and so many women related to however many, different scenarios come up in the book. But it's a quirky journey, and it's funny, and it's supposed to be an enjoyable, fun read, even though it's pretty hectic at times.
When you were writing An Appetite for Peas, I remember I was writing my memoir, and we used to share the joys and the
experience
woes of writing a memoir. And then the next thing I knew, you had When the Bow Breaks, and then another book on the way. How do you write so fast? With an energetic boy and 2 big, rambunctious dogs.
Yeah, Bonnie, and I was filming in between all of that as well.
Yes.
I was doing a lot of stuff in between there. And it's very difficult to change your space, especially because people like to box you. They like to put you in a certain space and say, you are only legitimate if you focus and you follow through on that. And to some degree, I believe that, because I do believe you need to be devoted. But I devote myself to a space, and I'm so driven within that space to create something out of it that the evolution kind of happens a little faster than for some people.
Wow.
But it looks like I'm not dedicated or devoted to something. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's that I have dedicated myself and devoted so immensely that I get to a space that I'm so excited about trying something else.
Right.
Into a space where I really want to understand that. And that's what the writing was for me. At some points, it was frenetic. You've got 3 hours in your day.
Right.
When your child's at school, and you write, and I just sat and I write. That's phones off, that's everything goes away.
What is easier to write? Well, writing's not easy, period, so let me not say that. What do you find easier, though? Writing a memoir or fiction?
They are totally different experiences.
Totally different.
So for different reasons. Writing the memoir is really easy in terms of plot, because you know all the people, the characters, how it turns out.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
The second one, to write a novel, it's much more exciting because you get the strings.
have to make it all up.
You get to play, but extraordinarily difficult because there's no blueprint.
Yes, and truth is stranger than fiction.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. But I found that, I wrote When the Bow Breaks. It's a very lengthy, it's a nice chunky read. It's a book. And I wrote that in 5 months. So
Wow.
you know how much went into writing that. The next book is very, there was a lot of legal stuff. I went and sat in the High Court for 6 hours. A High Court attorney, thank heavens, came and sat with me and basically took me through everything there is to know. I got my LLB in 6 hours.
Well done.
But
Yeah. Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes.
What does Mother's Day look like at the Dolan household?
Well, because I'm single parent,
yes,
Mother's Day happens if I make it happen.
Oh.
So it seems a little narcissistic with you going, it is Mother's Day and you're supposed to be really nice to me. You're supposed to be doing some fun stuff for me. So if the nursery school, the play school doesn't make him make a card or whatever, he would just randomly get on with his life.
Yeah.
But I try to make it special. I take us out for a little date.
Yes.
The two of us will go out for a Mother's Day date, and then I'll probably give him the money, and
it'll be all about him.
It can be all about him this weekend, and he can basically pay for my meal and make me feel special with my own instigation. So I'll take myself somewhere nice, I guess.
Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much, and to you.
Thank you. Now, single parenting is not easy.
The hardest thing.
Any anecdotes to share? Any advice to single parents out there?
It's just non-stop. My child's impossible, he's No, he's fantastic, but he's rambunctious and he's cheeky and he's really fun. But he's constantly coming up with stuff. A lot of the stuff is he finds women really beautiful, and so he basically tells me he's unfortunately not going to be able to marry me because that lady over there is far more beautiful than I am. And you'd like her to be his wife. So,
Wow.
This kind of stuff goes on regularly. It's a constant in the household. He keeps me very entertained.
Casey, thank you so much for joining us, but you're not going anywhere. We're not letting you go.
I'm here.
Coming up on the show after the break is no fuss Mother's Day cooking and some gifting ideas.
Up next, a Mother's Day roast ready in an hour means more quality time with your mom. Plus, a gift means so much more when you've made it yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. Nowadays, everybody has just such hectic schedules, so often the most thoughtful gift is the gift of time. And what a better way to share this than on Mother's Day over an amazing meal. So making something for somebody really is quite thoughtful. And something like this, when it tastes that good, is even better. Let's start cooking our Mother's Day meal.
Making something, taking the time to just even cook together or present something delicious like a three-course meal, but not too much time. No. You don't want to spend the entire Sunday slaving in the kitchen.
No.
So something simple. So what we're going to use is Woolworths easy to cook range. This beautiful pork shoulder roast takes 60 minutes, and all the sort of accompaniments that we're going to place it with are going to take even less. So on the table in plus minus 60 minutes. How cool is that?
Perfect. So you can actually spend the entire afternoon with your family instead of slaving away in the kitchen. Brilliant.
And saying that you made something yourself, all by yourself, with the help of Woolworths.
Exactly. Okay. And of course, if you're going to be cooking with us, remember to go to afternoonexpress.co.za for all of our ingredients and amazing, easy-to-cook recipes.
Okay, so quite simply, it comes out of the packet onto a tray.
Ta-da! Was in the kitchen for hours with this tasty thing.
Okay, so it really is packed full with flavor there. You don't have to do anything. It goes straight into the oven.
It's been,
straight into the oven in this bag. Cooks for about 60 minutes. Just the last 10 minutes, you snip it open and it browns beautifully in there.
I'm taking the credit for this one, darling. Okay, which oven?
We're going to pop that in the 160 degrees oven. I'm going to help you over there. Pop that in over there. And that's going to slow roast for, like I said, about 60 minutes. So we're lucky enough to have 2 ovens. If you don't have 2 ovens, you can microwave this. So this one goes for 200 degrees for roughly 45, 50 minutes. So we're just going to slice those up. Just because I like a little bit more surface area for that butter to just really ooze in, but you don't have to. You can literally toss it right out of the bag into the roasting dish. And that's kind of it. So then these are gonna roast in the oven, and while those roast, we're just really gonna set the table or place it out in a beautiful garden, whatever you like, however you like to serve your Mother's Day 3-course meal for mom, and even maybe surprise her, maybe send her out for the morning, come home to those beautiful smells of roasting potatoes and roasting pork shoulder. How cool is that?
Oh, absolutely delicious. Yummy potatoes. Okay, and now what is that? That's garlic butter?
So this comes in the bag. It's garlic butter. I just like to break it up all evenly over the potatoes just because you don't have to then hassle with it in the oven later trying to move it all around. And that's that. And then that goes into our 200-degree oven, or like I said, if you only have one oven, that goes into the microwave for like 9 to 12 minutes. Super easy.
There you go. Pop that in the oven. Oh, I can't actually believe that in just a few minutes, lunch is already prepared and ready to be cooked. Amazing. And it looks delicious. That was really so easy.
How cool is that?
Now, another language of love is, of course, gifting. Make sure that you get your mum something extra special this Mother's Day. And standing by is Vanna and Bonnie with some amazing gift ideas.
Thank you, Jeannie. So while the roast does what it needs to, Wagner's going to be showing us how to make Mother's Day tea bags and bath salts.
Absolutely, yes.
And Wagner, you're the perfect person to show us this because you also have a degree in graphic arts.
I do, yes. And Bonnie, what I like about these kinds of gifts is you make it yourself, and the homemade shows off a bit of your creativity, and it's never a bad thing to show your mom, you know, all the effort she put in paid off. So I'm going to be making these for my mom. These are very exciting.
Okay.
What we're going to be making is we're going to be making Mother's Day tea bags out of muslin cloth, and I'll show you how to do that now. And we're also going to be making some bath salts. So all of this stuff smells really great.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a really good Mother's Day package.
Yeah, so she can enjoy a cup of tea and a hot bath.
Absolutely, there we go. You need to get some muslin cloth, and we're going to be cutting squares out of that, which are going to be 12 by 12 centimeters.
Right.
Okay, this is going to make the tea bag. So we've cut some already. And what we've got here is we've got some dried rooibos leaves.
We love rooibos.
Yeah, which you can buy at any tea sort of shop. You can buy it in bulk as well, in those little paper brown bags.
Okay.
And we've also got some stickers and some...
Can I make
cards.
those? Because I love
Absolutely, yeah.
hearts and
Go
I love
ahead and do
sticky
that
things.
for me. We're going to be making them sort of like that. All right.
Oh, wow, gorgeous.
So while you're sticking that down, let me show you what we're going to be doing with the tea bags.
Okay.
We're going to need about 2 teaspoons of the actual tea.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to wrap that up like a little nappy. And
Like
then,
a little nappy.
and if you can hold that for me like that.
Okay.
I'm just going to cut some of the cooking string, which we've got here. And these are quite nice because they're black and white, so they make quite a feature. I'm going to cut about that length.
Okay.
And then we're just going to tie it around there. All right.
And of course, you can get different color string.
Absolutely. Pink, anything. Also, you can personalize it according to what you know your mother likes.
Right.
In that kind of regard.
Or what kind of tea she likes.
Exactly. Introduce it to something new as well. There's some really good teas out there. So what we got here is we've got some die-cut cards as well. You can
Okay.
get them at any stationery shop or art shop. You can just ask around. These we're going to just string through there, like that.
What smells so good? Oh, it's all these
Those are the
essential
bath salts,
oils.
yeah.
Yes.
You can give me a little heart sticker on there if you
yeah,
want.
of course. Perfect.
There we go. And I'm not that good with my handwriting, so I'm going to ask you to write a little love letter on here. If you don't
Absolutely,
mind.
since I have the perfect handwriting for that.
There we go.
Anyone who's received a letter from me would know.
So it's as simple as that, and you can put any kind of tea in here.
Okay.
This you just drop in your cup like a normal tea bag.
Oh, yes.
And you stir it around until
And then
it's...
you hold it with the... Oh,
Absolutely,
wow.
there we go.
Okay.
We've also got sort of some display ideas for you to put it in. Little glass jar.
And you
with
can
some
still use
chalkboard
the
on there.
muslin cloth and the string.
Absolutely. You wrap it around there, use the same kind of string. It all ties up really nicely.
Right, so here's our finished tea bag.
Absolutely. Very easy, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Good job.
Okay, so now onto our bath salts.
Okay, these are really easy to make. We've got some coarse sea salts, and we've also got some Epsom salts.
Which we're mixing together.
We're mixing those together.
Okay.
I'll show you how now. And we've got some essential oils as well. We've got some lavender, and we've got lemongrass, which are 2 of my favorites. So you're going to help me with that.
I'm
I've
gonna
also
help
got some
mix.
test tubes here, which you can also find at some art shops.
Yes.
And these are really cool to display them in. So we're going to
Okay.
put them in here. What we're going to do is we're going to do 2 parts of sea salt, 1 part of
Okay.
Epsom salt.
Can I mix it in here?
Absolutely, we're going to
Okay.
mix it in here. I'm going to start with the 1 part of Epsom salt.
Just make that a heaped one.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
There we go. All right. Do you want to do the same?
Yes.
You can carry on, and then you can follow me like that.
I'll mix that in the meantime.
Good. So that's just salts. Then we're going to grab our essential oils. Okay, you're going to get the lavender. You
Okay.
can get these from any pharmacy or health shops normally
Okay.
have them as well. So we're going to do 3 to 5 drops of that in there. I'm going to do 4 drops.
Oh, I did 5, I
You
think.
did 5, all right.
I love me some lavender.
All right.
Okay,
Then we're
are
going
we
to
mixing?
grind this in.
Oh, grind.
Make sure the salt gets kind of fine because the sea salt's quite coarse as well.
Oh, right.
And by grinding it, you make sure that the essential oil gets into everything as well.
Okay, could you also use a pestle and mortar?
You can if you want, yeah.
Right.
This is quite simple. Okay, when you're done doing that, we're going to grab our test tubes. Now, we've already filled these quite a way because it takes quite a while to just scoop it in there.
To
because
scoop-
the
and
opening is quite small.
I know the perfect trick on how to get something like this into a test tube. You
All
can
right.
use paper as a funnel.
There we go. I didn't think of that. See, there's no paper funnel here. So what I'm going to show you is just how I did it before we started now.
Right.
Is you scoop it in like that.
Okay, and you would fill it to the top.
You would fill it to the top, yes. So we've already got some of these, which we filled straight to the top.
Oh, smells
that.
amazing.
That's what it would look like. All right. Also, we've got some really nice packaging ideas here, just to... you can also take a couple of these, put in a bundle, and put a little ribbon around it.
Yeah.
That'd be really cute.
Right.
And
And this is just tissue paper. You can get it at an art shop.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
You can put some coloured tissue paper in there as well. Would go nice with the black box.
And boxes you can get at arts and crafts shops
Absolutely,
as well.
yes, same thing.
Okay.
Also, if you shop around a bit and see what you can find. I'm sure you can find some really interesting boxes as well.
Yes.
Some patterns on it. So we would do that, close that down, and we've got this lovely ribbon that we're just going to wrap around it.
Oh, perfect.
Like that. And then once again, we use the tags. There we go.
Happy Mother's Day. Okay, wow.
There we go. And once again, we use the tags that we put on these. I've also got the black and white repeating like that, and that's quite nice, I think.
Thank you, Wagner. These are beautiful.
Now for Sonia Booth's reinvention from model to student to author. Then, could that roast be done already? And can a healthy salad be so easy?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. She's the co-founder of the Booth Education and Sports Trust and author of the recently launched book, How to Reinvent Yourself and Stay Relevant. Joining us on our couch is the truly inspiring and gorgeous Sonia Booth. Welcome to the loft.
Thank you for having me.
You look gorgeous as usual.
Look is talking.
Another mother, another book. Ladies, I mean, when do you write these books with our crazy kids?
Nappy changes.
Yeah, when they're sleeping, yeah.
For real though, did you have a schedule where you had like a goal for each day? I'm going to write this amount of words for today, or did you just write when you were inspired or when you had the time?
I've had moments where I go a good 5 hours non-stop, lock myself away. I'm sure Casey would agree as well that, you know, you'll sometimes get
quite
thoughts.
disagreeable.
Well, okay, maybe she won't agree. But you'll get times where you wake up in the middle of the night and then you find yourself jotting down on your notepad.
No, then
right?
I'm really mad and try and take something to go back to sleep.
It's true though, I would get a bee in my bonnet and I'd be like, oh, I've got the writing bug, let me go, and I hope I get some 5 hours of writing done. Yeah.
Exactly.
And obviously the best ideas do come at 3 in the morning.
They do.
Like, why is that? Can it not be during waking
the
hours?
house is calm.
Yes,
that's why you're the most creative at that hour.
But how do you balance it all? You're a mother, you're a businesswoman, you're a wife, and an author. I mean, how do you do it?
It's not easy. I mean, if anybody were to make it sound easy, they're living in a fairy tale land, because that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a woman who claims to, have it easy in their career or have it easy in their home life, you need an incredible amount of support, be it your nanny, be it your mum, your sister. All the help that you can get would always be appreciated. And in my case, I've got lots of support. That's how I'm able to do it.
That's amazing.
Not because I'm Superwoman. No, that doesn't exist.
A Superwoman doesn't exist?
Doesn't exist, right? Agree with me on this one.
Okay.
I told you, don't come over to my side.
Yeah.
You look pretty super to me.
Support does go a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's very important.
How to reinvent yourself and stay relevant. Now, that is quite a complex subject. And you've lent your voice to something that I feel like is something you've gone through in your own life.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at my life, I was a fashion model for 8 years, traveling the world, living the good life. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to go back to study full-time for my degree. Went back as a full-time student because I wasn't disciplined for correspondence or online learning.
That must have been an adjustment.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, when you're a model and, you're living the good life and then now you have to adjust yourself and, come down a notch a bit to, feet firmly on the ground.
At least you weren't studying on a student budget and eating noodles.
Well, okay, you put me on the spot.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
I didn't mean to.
I did that as a model when I was studying out because, jobs were not coming by so easily. So, a lot of canned food, but not as a student. I was blessed at that time. I had a bit of money, money.
And then you had an ICU period where you spent 4 nights in ICU. What happened?
What didn't happen?
Wow.
That was quite a journey. I mean, to end up in ICU for 4 nights. I mean, you go into theatre one night, 11 o'clock at night, when everyone else is sleeping after having done numerous tests and CT scans and all of that. And you wheeled into theatre, and then you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, you find yourself in this very cold ward with bright lights shining brightly above your bedside, and then you're having nurses on either side of you and they washing you. So imagine what that does to you, you know, your dignity, having people washing you. And it has to be 2 nurses, because I had 3 operations in my belly. So they had to be very...
And you were immobile? You couldn't do anything?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, it took 2 people to wash me, because, you know, turning wasn't easy. They had to be very careful. I had a burst cyst, which had to be removed by laser through my belly button. So my belly button had to be moved. And then I had 4 fibroids as well that had to be through a C-section. Bearing in mind our 2 boys were also through C-section. So my body's been through so much, including 2 knee arthroscopies. So I've had 10 surgeries in this short space of my life. I am that young.
That actually reminds me of a conversation Casey and I have had about the power of the body to recover.
It's an absolutely phenomenal thing that I think once you get in touch with the idea that you can rejuvenate yourself from the inside out, miracles can happen. It really is true.
You know, human beings, we're a lot stronger than we think. And my experience certainly showed and taught me how strong I am. I mean, I'm sitting here with you now. A lot of people wouldn't even believe, because, I mean, ICU experience was just less than 6 weeks ago. And I'm sitting here.
6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh
believe
my
it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. What got you through it? Was there a moment where you felt like, I don't know if I'm going to make it?
My kids. You know, just the thought that if you don't make it, if you don't recover, someone else is going to look after your kids. And I'm not going to be having any of that, not in this lifetime. I'm going to look after my kids till they're old enough to look after themselves. That's what kept me going. And I've got an amazing, very supportive husband. But best of all, my mum, an amazing woman. Yeah, she kept me going.
What lessons have you learned from your mother that you're now implementing with your raising children?
I mean, you know, my mom is a very simple woman. She lives the very simple life. She's got her feet firmly on the ground. Family values are very important to her, a tight, close-knit family. My mom is not fazed by much, you know. She's had an incredible life, amazing experiences, some daunting, some life-changing, but she remains strong because she's an amazing woman.
And you know that if she did it, you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. Now, you're writing your second book, and it's about your ICU experience, am I right?
Yes, the title is actually called Surviving ICU, and the lessons there, particularly for women, is that we need to know our bodies. I mean, fortunately for me, I picked up what was wrong with me before it was too late. Because, you know...
How did you pick it up?
I just started feeling this incredible pain without even knowing what it was. And 2 days later, I was in my, gynae's room, and then the following day, I was in ICU with the first 2 ops on, end of February. 2 days later, when I'm supposed to be going home, having to be rushed back into theatre for a bowel obstruction. So I've got a scar now going from under my rib cage downwards and then across. So it's like a proper T-junction.
Wow.
And just across my belly alone, I had 42 staples.
Wow.
So
you are a superwoman.
Yes, she is.
No, not a superwoman, but I'm a tough cookie. I'm a Chuck Norris.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Chuck.
When people come up with the term Chuck Norris, I would be that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is incredible. You've got this T-junction of the scar now, and you were a model. Has that transition of just owning this space and accepting what has happened been difficult?
It's interesting you mentioned that because, you know, the modeling world is very phony.
Of course.
It's vain.
Yeah. That's why I ran away from it.
Exactly. That's why I said to you earlier, I'm an ex-model. You know, the ex is very important because it's no longer part of my life. I mean, it was a beautiful part of my life because I did it for a reason. But now I look at myself in the mirror and I'm seeing this massive scar. At first, you can't help but think, geez, is my husband going to look at me the same? I mean, Matthew's not vain. You know, he's a very intelligent man with a wicked sense of humor. So he looks beyond the beauty. He was brought up by parents who are together. I like using the word together. Like, you know, they have no issues. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, wholesome.
Yeah, so for me, it was more of a personal thing to say, geez, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and look at this hideous scar. But it's a scar of life, right? Because it will be a constant reminder that
of your survival, of your
my
triumph.
life was spared. And, you know, at first I felt sorry for myself. But then, you know, after, you know, starting to draft my book, making notes for the next book, Surviving ICU, I realized, you know what? In ICU, there was a 20-year-old who had been there for 6 months. So, believe you me, it could have gotten worse. There was a guy there who had, you know, tubes coming from everywhere, and you realize that it could get worse.
It could be worse.
But I'm here.
But you're
I'm
here
alive.
again. Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
That's truly inspiring, Sonia. And I can't wait to read your book.
I can't wait for you to read it because I've actually mentioned you in the book. In one of the chapters, The Art of Reinvention.
Oh my gosh!
An actress.
Oh girl, I'll be reading that book.
And then she also wrote
a chapter.
And then you also wrote a book. So The Art of Reinvention, the chapter you mentioned there.
Oh, awesome.
So there you go.
I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Thank you so much. Well, let's join Jeannie in the kitchen and see what she's whipping up in terms of starters and accompaniments for our Mother's Day feast. Jeannie.
Thanks, ladies. So wonderful to have Sonia and Casey in our loft today. Really inspiring moms. Now, from inspiring moms to inspiring dishes, Claire, what we have done here is possibly one of the greatest hustles I've ever seen. Literally, from what you saw us take and put in the oven is now the most impressive lunch.
Isn't it just so simple?
Fantastic.
And like I said, we just wanted to make something for mom. It doesn't have to take years. It's the thought that counts. It's delicious, it's full of flavor, and it's done simply.
Yes.
How cool is that?
But still we're adding to it. That's not it. There's
That's
still
it.
more.
So I'm going to stretch over here and just going to finish up. This is our starter course, essentially, which is a beautiful smoked snook terrine. Just going to drizzle a little bit of oil on there just because I'm a big fan of oil.
And I love that we're serving starters as well. If I have to pull this off at home, my mother will literally be swinging from the chandeliers in celebration.
So good quality oil, a little crack of black pepper. It's all in the presentation. I like a little bit of our pretty purple micro crimson herbs. Pop that on there. And then we've got our delicious grain and lentil salad. Love it. It comes with a dressing. Very easy.
That is good. I've actually had that before. I usually just eat it from the package.
Well, we want to impress mom on Sunday, so we're going to take it out the package.
Are we going to use the sauce that they've sent with?
You can just slice it open with the scissors, and we're going to decant into our beautiful bowl. If I can just get a hold of that plastic sleeve. And off you go into there. Look how stunning that looks.
Yeah, this is very delicious.
It's really,
I'm a big fan of this salad.
And I don't think it's cheating. It really is delicious food that's made just like you would at home, but you don't have to do all that hours of slogging and cutting and baking and preparing. So that's perfect. That's awesome. So just because I want to get all that delicious gravy into the salad, I'm going to actually just take our fantastic pork loin roast.
Now, I mix that up. Do you just leave the sauce on top like that?
I just leave it on top.
Okay, perfect.
It's up to you. And then just, like I said, get
give it a
all
little bit of a mush.
Okay, go for it.
Sorry.
No, do it.
Just because presentation is everything, and I'm a perfectionist.
I mean, after all, I'm supposed to be teaching you how to make this for Sunday. So
exactly.
We're going to pour this on and hope to not make a mess. But if we do, it's okay. Mom will forgive us.
But this is what I love, because now the oil and the sauce from that is dripping onto that. And
That's
nothing better than having that extra juice.
That's all that beautiful flavor that was locked into that bag. And now it's all over that roast. And then you just pop that on the table, serve it up, and off you go.
I'm salivating. I could actually picture Sunday lunch where I take potatoes and dip it into that sauce. I cannot wait. I don't know about you.
Amazing. And then when you sit down, as you sit down for lunch, so that it's perfect timing, pop your Melba pudding into the oven, and it'll be ready just in time for dessert.
This is so delicious. I cannot wait to tuck into this on Mother's Day. And speaking about being super impressed, there's one woman who never fails to dazzle me, and that's Cindy Nell, and she's coming up after this.
Now Everglam Mom on the Go, Cindy Nell Roberts shares her time-saving beauty tips, plus we've got some magic recipes for the ultimate mocktails.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, former Miss South Africa, mother of two, model and businesswoman Cindy Nell Roberts is constantly on the go, yet manages to always look flawless. She's joining us today to share some simple beauty tips that will keep you looking at the top of your game, no matter how busy your schedule is. She also has a book called Model and Pageant Handbook. Every mom in here has a book. Let's start a book club. Please say you have a book club. All the moms out there are like, where's my book? I need a book.
Pressure.
Cindy, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Now, I have to ask you this because I learn something every time I ask a mother this. How do you juggle it all? You're a mother, you're a model, you're a businesswoman, you're a wife, and you always look amazing while doing all of it. How?
Actually, when you were saying that earlier, I thought to myself, I do not always look amazing. Some days I just put on my cap and my glasses and I just kind of say, today the world's going to have to deal with me without makeup. And I'm fine with that. But most days, I try to, because it actually makes me perform better and it makes me feel better. And I don't know, I think I scream at my kids less on those days.
We all do.
because I'm not irritated with myself. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's no hard and fast secrets. For me, little things are that really work for me is wake up a little bit early. You know, as hard as it is, and I know mothers need their sleep, but just 15 or 20 minutes before your children wake up, just to have a little bit of quiet time before all chaos ensues. I try to prepare some meals on a Sunday for the week, especially for little ones.
I'm just cringing in the corner over here. I'm like the antithesis of everything you've just said.
Me too. That's why I'm like,
but you know,
mom. She's very
like, what are we
organised,
eating tonight? Let me just rush into the shops
But you know, I'm nodding with the drop jaw, like.
And I see the shops as an outing for the day. It's like, woohoo! This
I'm
is
actually not by nature organised. It's something I've had to teach myself, because I find that if I'm not organised, that there's this constant underlying anxiety in my life. Wow. So if I am organised, it gives me so much time to spend quality time with my children, to be happy and to feel like, wow, I'm actually really on top of things. So, you know, being organised is actually vital to you as a mother, to just kind of feel, yes, and also to have time for yourself. I always say that you can't give to others if you have nothing to give.
Right.
And very often mothers, I mean, all we do is give and give and give. And if you have nothing to give, then eventually things are going to fall apart. So, I mean, that's another thing, you know, time wasters. I promise you, if you asked yourself honestly what were your time wasters, you're probably on social media or on internet for an hour at night before you go to bed. And that is such a waste of time. You could be meditating for 30 minutes before you go to bed. Wasting time for things that actually make you feel anxious at the end of the day. So what have you learned? What have you really grown as a person emotionally, psychologically and physically by going on the internet and some randomness?
So not wasting time is already saving time.
Not wasting time is already saving a lot of time. And little things like take advantage of your commute. If you know that you're going to be in the traffic for 45 minutes in the morning, listen to an audiobook, learn a new language, make notes, audio notes. Make a couple of calls with a Bluetooth device to organise doctors and dentist appointments. And
whoa, girl! I mean, wow! I'm saying that this is like a whole other zone. Okay. Taking Superwoman to that next level.
And she looks flawless while doing it. And your makeup is always in tip-top form. Now, do you spend a lot of time on makeup, or do you also have some time-saving tips?
Yes, basics? I can give you some basic do's and don'ts. So I'm just going to step over here with Tess. So I think the important things when it comes to kind of being beautiful is, you know, that I always say there's no such a thing as a ugly woman. There's just women that don't know how to groom themselves. And I think when it comes to the basics of your face, your eyebrows are very, very important. If you can just make sure once a month that you get a good facial, that your eyebrows are cleaned up and plucked, then you're already halfway there. That is really half the battle won, because that frames your face, and that's very important. And a cute little eyebrow kit, or any kind of, you get these little eyebrow kits that's got a brush and a little tweezer in, you can keep your own eyebrows tidy. And then in the morning, use an SPF moisturizer. So a daily moisturizer got an SPF in, because if you're applying moisturizer and a sunblock and a foundation and a powder, you've got this big fat crust of makeup on your face. So you know, people see your makeup before they see you. So that's the important things for the face. With the hair, I've asked Tess to just tie her hair in a pony, because this is my time saver tip. I take my hair in a ponytail, and then once you've got it in a ponytail, just kind of segment it into, depending on how thick your hair is, segment it into a couple of segments. Take your curling tongue, and always use your curling tongue upright. So instead of going like this, use it upright, in an upright position, and then just hold it there for a couple of seconds. Tess, can I ask you to just hold that for me? I recommend getting a makeup brand that is affordable enough for you to have 2 or 3 little makeup bags. So one in the car, one in your dressing table, and then one in your handbag. And you only need very, very basic items in there. So maybe like an eyebrow brush and a powder brush that can also double up as a blusher brush.
Because the one in your bag would obviously have to be the smallest one.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
the one in your bag is a small one, so you just really need these 2 brushes if you have to choose. And I think instead of using a foundation, use a BB cream, because a BB cream is a lot softer on your wrinkles. Top that up with some powder. When you do your blusher,
what are those?
Wrinkles.
What wrinkles? Well, good for you, girlfriend. But what's nice is I like these blushes that's got a highlighter in already. So it's got a bit of color, a bit of bronzer, and a highlighter in. So when you apply your blusher, just from your ear to your nose, draw a line, and just kind of, it's very simple stroke. Doesn't have to be. Be careful not to apply your blusher from the outside in, because then you sit with this with lots of color on the front of your cheek.
Okay, so not starting from your cheek.
Not starting from your cheek. And then a bit of mascara. So Tess has got really, really thick hair, but ordinarily this would go a lot faster. So I'm putting some hairspray on this curl, and then I'm taking the curl out, and then you'll see it's just kind of a bouncy curl. So then I'll do that with 2 or 3 segments in her hair.
Okay.
And you do have very thick hair, you're really lucky. This would go faster for the rest of us.
And ladies, how much time do you spend on your hair? Do you find you're wasting a lot of time on hair? I mean, I'm looking at those bouncy curls and I'm like,
I'm looking at you and wondering how this curling tip's helping you right now, Bonnie. I'm not feeling it for you.
But
I, on the other hand.
Even with shorter hair, this would work really well. And if you hairspray your hair while it's in a ponytail, it gives you a lot of body. So when you loosen your hair, it will be loose already. If you don't have time to do this, at night, once you've washed your hair, you towel dry it, you put it in a ponytail, you twist the ponytail, and you make it into a little bun. You go to sleep with that, you put a bit of hairspray on, the next morning you wake up, you put your head upside down, and it's kind of done. I mean, curls is the easiest way to look like you've made effort with your hair. So, I mean, flat ironing takes a little bit more time. Casey knows that, but she's got a bit of an unfair advantage because her curls look like that normally. And then you know what? A little bit of lip gloss, a coat of mascara, and you know when you apply your mascara, I mean, you girls know this. A coat of mascara, and you wiggle it from side to side, instead of just applying it up and down. Wiggle it from side to side, and put about 3 or 4 layers on. Mascara is also a great thing to do in the car, even though you technically shouldn't. And instead of using a color powder, just use a mattifying powder, which is suitable for all skin types. So one of those very clear, translucent mattifying powders. You can put that on the whole day. And that's basically it. So we're going to Tess, you hold that for a minute, and then in the ad break, we'll finish you up.
Thank you, Cindy. While you finish up Tess's makeup, we're going to see how Jeannie's getting along with those mocktails for mom.
Thanks, girls. And how fabulous were those beauty tips? I mean, I also do the little zigzag with my mascara right before I stick my lash on. Vanna, we've got you back in the kitchen for some marvelous mommy's mocktails.
Absolutely. These are really nice. These are called the new H2O. It's kind of got a margarita personality to it, which is really nice.
The new H2O, which means you can have as many as what you would drink water.
Absolutely, because it's really healthy. We've got coconut water, which is the basis of this cocktail. So very healthy as well.
Yeah.
Very fresh. We're going to add some mint. We're going to add some lime juice, some lemongrass as well, and very easy to make. Make it in 5 minutes. Okay.
Let's
Shall we
get started.
All right.
And all these ingredients are actually really my favorites, and they're all very fragrant as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got some watermelon. We're going to pop that in there. That's about 2 cups. We're just going to pulp that first before we add our lime juice and all of that.
Okay.
Just going to do that quickly. All right, so now we've got our watermelon pulped quite well. Then we're going to add our coconut water. This is about 2.5 cups of that. I'm going to fill it up to that. So it's equal parts watermelon, equal parts coconut water. And then what's going to make this really fresh is just to add juice of 1 lime as well.
Coconut water really is all the rage at the moment. Everywhere you go,
yeah.
it's coconut water. And apparently it's really one of the most nutritious things you can put into your body.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've seen people have it in their gym bags as well, which is something strange. It's popped in every now and
I think
then.
it replaces all of the antibodies and electrolytes in your body.
Absolutely. I think it's fantastic, yeah. Going to pulp that up a bit. Just to
Again?
mix it up just quickly, make sure it's all there. There we go. And then before we serve it, we're going to take our glasses and we're just going to garnish it with some mint as well.
So easy.
Pop it in there, very quick. You can put it in those, see if you want.
For sure.
Okay. I've also got some lemongrass here, which I'm just going to squash a little bit with this one so that we can get some pieces loose, which you can just tear off and pop in there just to add some extra freshness to that.
Yum.
Smells great.
Oh, that is
Amazing.
absolutely gorgeous.
All right.
The new H2O.
New H2O. There we
The
go.
other sleeve. Vanna, you really are a gem in the kitchen when it comes to these mocktails. But I'm pretty sure a lot of mums would rather we send you to make the cocktails instead of them doing it on their own. Oh, tasty.
There you go.
Excellent.
Want to try that?
Yes,
All right,
let's cheers
do it.
to Mother's
Cheers.
Day. Do you have an amazing mother?
Health and Mother's Day. I have an amazing mother.
Oh, I also have an incredible
My
mother.
best friends.
Cheers to you and cheers to all of your moms too. When we return, we have a look at what's hot at the movies.
Coming up, we have a roundup of what movies are being released today which might make a great mother-daughter outing. And lunch is served, ladies.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So during the break, Cindy transformed Tess into an absolutely camera-ready movie star. And talking of movies, let's find out what's on circuit this weekend.
Lullaby tells the story of a terminally ill man played by Richard Jenkins, whose decision to remove himself from life support sparks a healing crisis in his family and, in particular, his black sheep son.
He's been dying for years. He's gotten good at it.
Mom, he's gonna be okay.
Not this time.
The only gifts that last.
Garrett Hedlund gives an emotional performance as the son. With Afrikaans movies increasingly popular at the local box office, Swimmerson is a couple's romance starring Reynard Slubbert and Janita de Villiers. Planning on refueling the spark in their relationship, they find themselves off-road in an unexpected adventure.
Where you fly, we follow.
The charming animated movie Yellowbird is a hero's journey with an unlikely hero.
If we try this plan, we have a chance to survive. Maybe.
Wow, so ladies, it's May. Lots of opportunities for movie watching.
Well,
What do you-
well, I reckon we're going to need some tissues, certainly, for the first one.
Yeah, I think I'll take some rescue remedy to watch Lullaby.
Go in prepared and make sure there's nothing afterwards because you're going to have mascara. Maybe you need Cindy. Mascara is going to be pouring down your cheeks for that one.
I will not
For
be.
sure.
I will not be wearing any makeup for that movie.
Yeah.
So the lead actor, Garrett Hedlund, starred in Friday Night Lights. He's gorgeous.
Can't comment about another man being gorgeous.
Okay.
My husband's watching.
He's definitely intense.
I thought he was a good reason to watch the film. I'm okay with that.
And he looks like he goes through quite an emotional journey.
I wasn't really watching his emotional journey.
I was watching his acting.
Good girl, Sonia.
I like the Afrikaans, script. I'm a big fan. Afrikaans is my mother tongue, so
Of course.
I always am keen for a good Afrikaans movie. That's my idea of a perfect Friday night with popcorn.
Oh, good. Okay, and now the third one, Yellowbird. We're all going to watch Yellowbird. Why?
Yes, that's a mom's winner. We know that at least 2 hours, we're done. We're okay.
In fact, not only are we all going to watch it, we're all going to watch it 20 times.
We're going to get the
DVDs. Definitely.
Well, moms, it looks like we've got it all sorted for the weekend in terms of movies.
Sorted.
Definitely. Jeannie, is it all ready to serve? Because it smells amazing.
Since it's Mother's Day, I think you girls should have the show, have the moment, and you do the closing. Besides, the small pudding is so good, I don't think we mind being relegated to the kitchen.
Not at all.
And we see you've already tucked into your mocktails. Enjoy.
Absolutely, Jeannie. We just couldn't resist. What better way to end off a Mother's Day episode than to be serenaded by Wagner? Wagner, no one could call you a one-trick pony. You made the mocktails, and now you're about to sing.
Well, hear me sing first before you say that. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fears and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through. If you just smile. Cheers.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.